We're talking about giving care to the caregiver of a child on the autism spectrum. We received another letter, and I'm going to read this one to you, and we can talk about this a little bit afterwards.
Okay.
She writes, I used to include my son, who has autism, into as many typical activities as possible: shopping, going to the park, going to eat at restaurants, etc. As he gets older, his behaviors are making him stand out more than ever. His behaviors are very common autistic behaviors, but to people who do not understand, they look very odd. I have not been as willing to take him out because people will often stare, make comments about my son or my parenting, and sometimes people will even point or laugh at my child when we were out. I am a very private person, and I feel very uncomfortable when this happens. I am feeling so much stress about public encounters that I do not want to take him out in public anymore. Do you have any suggestions on how to deal with other people when my son is having a tantrum or engaging in odd behaviors? Any help would be greatly appreciated. That is a tough situation, and anybody who's dealt with anyone with autism knows that there are just times, for whatever reason, when that child or even that adult just cannot hold it in.
Right.
So how do you handle the reactions that you get from that?
Well, the first thing that I would say, I'd like to give her a couple of options or ideas. The first one is about how does she manage the stress that she feels inside, and then the second is how does she manage what other people reactions are. So the first part is when she's faced with that situation with her child, to use her breath as a way of just keeping herself calm, because if she starts getting all tense and worked up, her child's going to even get more tense and worked up.
So yes, and it makes the situation worse.
So she's got to model just staying as calm as possible, and a way to do that is riding the breath. And I use that term like how you ride a wave, you surf a wave.
Mm-hmm.
So when you breathe, it's actually like a wave that goes into your body. So when you take a breath in, it goes into the chest and it goes into the belly if you're relaxed, and you ride the wave in, and then you ride the wave out. Okay, so when you ride the wave, it helps kind of soothe your nervous system so you don't get all worked up. The second part of it is, and I'm going to share a quote with you from Eleanor Roosevelt. It's one of my favorite quotes. And what she says is, it's none of my business what anybody else thinks of me. Right? So she doesn't really have control of what other people think. Right? She can't make anybody not stare or not act out towards her or her son. So what she really needs to do is just keep her focus on her son and let go of the fact that other people are saying things, because she can't really control that.
And that's true. I love that quote. Sometimes, though, and I know this for a fact, when other people react, they react very obviously. I mean, to the point where they'll almost come up to you and tell you, you need to leave because I'm not willing to watch this, or I'm not willing to be a part of this.
Right.
So that kind of becomes anger. I'm angry at other people, and as lovely as it would be to just not care, people don't want you to not care. Sometimes they want you to care very deeply and to leave. So how can you kind of manage that anger that builds up sometimes within you, within a parent?
Right. Well, again, it's in the moment. It's kind of intercepting the feelings, because anger is a big feeling, and it comes up, and the last thing I'm sure she wants to do is act out on somebody by yelling or getting upset. So using the breath, so really taking a breath in and really exhaling. That's a way to kind of get some of that energy out. And then here's kind of something that might seem kind of counterintuitive, but instead of letting that anger kind of take over, maybe what she can do is do a practice where when she feels that anger, to kind of shift her inner perspective and say, you know what, inside of herself, not necessarily to the other person, but imagine that she's sending them forgiveness, or she's sending them kindness, because they really don't understand, and how she acts is also going to model for them. So if she stays calm and she stays as present as possible, and she has an attitude of, you know what, I understand that you have a reaction, but I'm here with my son. We belong here. We want to be here. We're doing what we need to do. I'm sending you forgiveness and loving kindness. It's kind of an energy thing, so that might start coming back to her as well.
Okay, I'm sticking with the forgiving kindness. I'm going with that. Thanks.
Great. You're welcome.
As a parent, it's not only necessary, but sometimes it's fun to take your child out in public. However, when you're the parent of a child with autism or an autism spectrum disorder, you sometimes have to deal with other people's reactions. There are some ways, though, that you can kind of manage your own feelings and also manage your responses to other people. First, you can try riding the wave. Again, breathe in through your nose, let that breath go all the way down to your stomach, and then ride it back out. That will help you to stay calm and centered. Second, try to keep your focus on yourself and your child. You two are really the only ones that matter in that situation. Third, try to transform any anger that you might feel. Instead of being angry, try to send kind or loving or forgiving thoughts to the people who seem to be reacting negatively to you. Those are great ways to still be able to enjoy the world around you without letting it get to you.